All right, is it time?
Is it time?
Is it time?
Oh my god.
You ready? You excited?
Yeah.
NiteOwl and I joined the Karl2D Jam separately. We were not a team. I had big hopes of making the next cookie clicker, and I spent like 2 hours on this thing. In fact, let's hop on over. Let's hop on over to my project. 200 lines of code.
That's awesome.
So this is what I got. I couldn't figure out how to console log, and so I just made like a logging system on the screen.
That's cool.
And then yeah, I've got like the FPS counter up in the top corner, and then yeah, if you click the Tater Tot, the number goes up. That's the game. I was gonna have like a bunch of UI along the sides of things you can buy with tater tots. I was gonna have like a sheet pan so that you can cook a lot of tater tots at the same time. I was gonna have like factories, and then like you know how it goes with cookie clicker. I was gonna have all sorts of stuff. I only spent a little bit of time. It was so yeah. That's what happened.
Wait. How did you do the scrolling background?
Oh yeah, sure. Yeah, I can show you that.
I'm actually interested in that.
Right, like I had this whole like Delta system that was pretty nice, and so I used that system. Background position, here we go. So I would go until the background timer, which I set to 2 seconds. So every 2 seconds it travels 32 pixels, which is the size of the squares, I think, or maybe it's 2 squares. Yeah, I would just change the position by a little bit based on the delta time.
So draw texture fit, does that, what does that do?
I got that from his examples. I think it's literally right here. Yeah, this one, draw texture fit. It was basically because if you just draw texture, then it doesn't scale it or anything, but draw texture fit will scale it, and it's based on this like origin vector. So I just did 0, 0. I didn't need to move it anywhere, but then yeah, I just changed the position every frame.
Yeah, because it looks good. It's like, it's such a small thing, but it really works.
Yeah, I needed it to look at least passable, right?
Yeah.
So I just added a little bit of shift.
I had the same strategy.
Yep. Is it?
Because I didn't get very far either.
Is it your turn?
Sure. Do I screen share? Is that the easiest?
Yeah. Let's do that. Let's have you screen share.
And it doesn't work. Why does that not work?
Oh, see, you figured out how to log things.
Okay, screw this. I'm just gonna play it in the browser, and we're gonna have to live with that. There's something wrong with how the like camera offset works. I think I changed how the serialization worked slightly. We'll get to it. But here's my little game. All the pixel art is made by me. The background is parallaxed.
Oh, that's pretty
And there's
cool.
little sound effects and little visual effects. Then you can die, and then you lose the game, and then
it was really hard. I was playing it.
Yeah.
I was like, oh man, I can't hit any of these.
So the problem is I didn't have time to implement any of the features, like, power-ups. I was gonna have power-ups so you could speed up by picking up some stuff that dropped from the spaceships. There were gonna be other enemies that were like did different things, maybe shot at you or did different patterns. And there was going to be a shop where you could like permanently upgrade your ship. But I never got that far because I spent all of my time implementing serialization.
Yeah.
And it kind of sucked. Odin has a weird like JSON serializer. I'm not a huge fan of it. So I basically brute forced it, which is fine. But yeah, so I have a whole data gen package for my project, kind of like Minecraft does.
Okay.
So I could serialize scenes, and so I just made scenes like this just by adding game objects that I call Karls, and then they serialize out to a JSON file with all of my data, and that's basically what I spent the whole project doing. I made all the art as well, which was a lot of fun. But yeah, I spent way too much time on getting this working. I don't want to get into the actual code because it's kind of ugly.
Sir Lunchalot says all that just for the jam.
Well, so neither of us are that good at Odin, right?
Nope, I had never coded Odin before.
But I basically wanted to learn Odin for a different project that I'm doing. I'm making a game engine in Odin just for fun. And
I kind of figured when you were talking about serialization, I was like, oh, he's going the engine route.
But that's the thing, serialization is my biggest enemy in any project. I just can never grasp how to do it, especially with polymorphism, which doesn't really exist in Odin. It's called parametric polymorphism. I also added callbacks. So here's the serializer. You just put data into a map, and I have a little init, update, a render debug, which is pretty cool. I didn't show that off. But if I press F2, I have, like you had.
Ah, nice. I should have
so
done that.
I can show positions, hitboxes.
I just made it so it didn't ship with it.
Yeah, it was supposed to only work on debug builds, but I never added that check, so whatever. I mostly treated this whole thing like a game engine.
A game engine jam.
A game engine, yeah. And it was fun. I got to do some cool stuff, got to learn a lot of things and what I wanted and what I didn't want. And that led me to a new project that I worked on yesterday where I'm just trying to figure out serialization and doing testing in Odin, which is really cool. It kind of works like Rust does tests, that they're like an inherent part of the package, and you just do Odin test and then it tests. I can't even try it right now.
That's cool. Just for, for us who may not understand, is the point of serialization so that you can change the attributes of the player outside of the code and maybe even like in an editor? Is that kind of the point?
Yeah, so the idea for all of this is that my biggest problem with my own game engines that I built is that I never build the editor quickly enough. And usually that comes down to serialization not being developed as a core part of the engine, which is silly because like all game engines have scene files and asset files that you have to be able to read and you have to keep track of them. So I just did scenes in this case because that's like usually what you want to do. It lets me here in game.odin, when I do restart, which is just like when I press backspace, I just call restart. The next frame, it will do a reset for like the score. And then it'll just run the setup function again, which opens the game scene. So I don't have to sit in here and like define in the setup how it's going to be. And I can even edit it outside of it, just like you said. So if I edit stuff in here, change this and just do the regular Odin run, it would look different. And that's like the first step to building an editor and being able to change scenes and, doing cool stuff. Usually what restricts me is that I'm writing code for too long. Like I never actually get to the game part. I'm still stuck in the engine part because I don't have an editor and it's not like easy to make the game.
Yeah.
I had fun, which is like the most important thing.
Oh yeah.
I didn't sleep much during the jam, but that's okay. Had a lot of coffee. Yeah. But it was a good time.
I found it super fun. I thought that Odin was a very cool language. I thought that Karl2D was very cool. Like I'd never used either of them, right? But I did find myself thinking, wow, the Karl2D library, it's better than my game engine. it has a bunch of stuff in it that I still need to do. Like this draw texture fit. I don't have any scaled textures in my game engine yet. Get frame time.
Well,
I like kind of.
That's why it's good to do that stuff.
Yeah.
Like if you pop into jams and just play around, you're gonna learn what you should do because it's just so convenient.
Yeah. There are frameworks that look really good, but I don't know. Handmade Hero spoke to me. I just want to do it the Handmade Hero way. And obviously, like eventually I'm going to implement all of this stuff. I'm not just going to stop here.
Do you think you could click the Tater Tot to your own game engine?
Yeah, in fact, it would be easier because I have an Sprite loader in my game engine.
Ooh. I was actually thinking about that because my parallax system depends on individual sprites being loaded roughly at the same time. But I would have loved to have an sprite file just be loaded in and separated into layers. I mean, mine I gotta look at your code.
Mine doesn't separate by layers yet, but like it does the hot reload, and so like if I make changes here, it just like shows up in the game. Like I could just have the game running, and I could make edits here, and then it would just show up over here, so I could see it in the game. And then the way I have it set up is that I could just have a single sprite file, and it would be an atlas. Which he has that set up too. You can atlas with his system as well. Although the way he loads textures is you have to just load them straight into memory for web. I mean, I'm doing that anyway in my game engine. I'm loading them straight into memory, but I could load them on the fly in my web build.
Right.
So there's like a few advantages that my engine has because I'm making it to my preferences. But yeah, I mean, Karl2D library is very nice. I actually really like it. It's very simple, which I think is the biggest draw for me.
Yeah, honestly, if I do another game jam just in general, I'll probably like use some of the code that I built during this jam and just kind of refine it a little bit and use that as the base with Karl2D as the backend. Like if you were to make a game engine for a jam, that's ridiculous. Yeah. So I think that's where like this library fits in, is if you just need like convenient ways to show pictures on the screen, like use a library. It's fun.
So here's another one. I'm just going to kind of show it. Oh, actually, I should probably... Here, let me plug in my phone real quick. And maybe it's a flaw of how I'm using it as well. Just want to point that out. So this is what happens on my phone. The game is like just a little sliver of the... So it's not scaling properly to the web build. For reference, here I can pull up my game that I made for web, and it scales properly. And so again, it could be that I'm not using the engine correctly or the framework correctly, but I saw this and I was like, oh, interesting. So it's not like out of the box, like creating a window in Karl2D does not scale properly on itch. There we go. Okay, so mine scales,
yeah, yours scales perfectly
all the way every time, and his does not. So anyway, like just out of the box, it doesn't behave how I expected it, and yeah, and that was one note I had. But
I agree with you. I think yours is more intuitive.
So anyway, like I said, I think I probably could have made what I made for the jam a lot faster in my own game engine, but
yeah, sure.
But you know, that's to be expected. I was brand new to it.
All right, well, we've dissected Karl2D, and I guess we don't have that much time left. But what do you think about Odin in general?
I think it's cool. I did even I figured out how to debug it. Anyway, like I figured out how to debug in Visual Studio, because I like the way I look at a new language is like I got to be able to log. I got to be able to run it, of course. I got to be able to debug it and like figure out how to build it. Let's see. What are my other notes? Let's see. I mean, I don't know. I don't think I had notes. I think it's a great language. I actually don't really see it as a C replacement. It felt a little different, but it's certainly very low level, and that's nice. Yeah. Anyway, what do you think? What do you think about the language?
I think it's way nicer to set up a project in Odin, and that's why I use it. Like if it wasn't for having to use CMake or other like ways of running the project in C, I'd probably be using C. I feel like the project setup in C is just too clunky. Being able to just drop files into a folder and doing run is so much more convenient.
No, it's insanely convenient for sure. That's probably like the most overlooked part of Handmade Hero is Casey's just like day one, he's like, we're just gonna get this set up and running. And it takes him like an hour, and he shows you like the simplest way to get a C project running, compiling, debugging. And it's just like, that's when I was like, oh, I could do this. Because before that, I was like, I don't want to touch this stuff. Like I did C++ in college and it was miserable, you know? And then Casey's way is just very nice and simple. And then obviously Ginger Bill, inspired by Casey Muratori, took it a step further and made it impossibly convenient. And I love it. So shout out to Ginger Bill, shout out to Odin. I think it's a great project. I think I'm a fan. I still am on the C hype train right now because of its longevity. I'm sure in like 20 years when Odin is a big popular language, I'll be regretting my choices. But odds are C will still be kicking, and it's gonna be great. But yeah, that's those are my thoughts.
Yeah, very very good thoughts, I would say. Very reasonable. I just think it's fun to learn a new language as well.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed it.
Well, I'm happy we both did the jam. It was it was a good time.
One of these days we'll team up.
Yeah, for sure.
All right.
Then we use some weird language like Zig.
Zig. Let's see. There was another. Oh, I
completely useless.
I really want to figure out how to get Jai. I'm gonna try to figure it out.
If Jai becomes public, like we should do like a long stream just exploring it.
Yeah, I listened to a podcast the other day of a guy who he makes games in Jai, and he says it's ergonomically a lot like Odin.
Cool.
And so I'm like, I'm in. You know, now that I've used Odin, I'm
Yeah.
like, oh, if Jai is ergonomic like Odin, like I want to use it.
It does make a difference.
Yeah. But anyway, I gotta go. So that's gonna be it. But Sir Lunchalot, T251, thanks for joining as always, and we'll see you guys later.
Yeah. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. As always, check out my game Droppy Ball. It's $1 on Steam and free on mobile. If you like this style of devlog, like, comment, and subscribe for more. Please buy my game.